What is up, you guys? It's your girl Deja D. Welcome back. Happy Monday. We're here with another episode of the podcast. By the title of the podcast, you kind of got an idea on what we're going to be talking about. But before we hop into it, of course, I have my little announcements. If this is your first time seeing my face, hearing my voice, or anything like that, welcome to the Deja's Daily Dose community. I call it a community because we're here to keep it real. We're talking about real life experiences. It's that Black women face. And it's open to all kind of races, open to all kind of genders, open to all kind of ages. You know, if the shoe fits, then, you know, wear it. And we're just here to keep it real. I talk about my life stories and my experiences. And this podcast is talking about all things that I'm learning as I'm navigating life in my 20s. Your girl's 22, so I'll be 23 in July. Make sure you mark your calendar, July 23rd, Leo season, Leo season. So yeah, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to our little family. Make sure you're following us at Deja's Daily Dose on all social media platforms. That's Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Y'all know I'm always talking about the Twitter because I don't post on there that much, but make sure you're following Twitter. One day your girl will be posting on there, and you want to make sure you're following when I do. I might do a surprise giveaway, you never know. Two, also make sure you're following me, your host Deja D, at DEJ, 7 A's and a D. It's all on the screen. It's all linked wherever you're listening to. Everything's there. You can find it all. Okay, cool, we got that done. What else? If you're watching, you see your girl's hair is black, jet black, blackity black, black. I'm loving it. I kind of, you know, if you follow me on my TikTok and stuff, then you already know your girl is like trying to grow her hair out. I want some braids. I want some braids. So, yeah, I'm just trying to let my little pixie cut grow out because I want to put braids in it. And that's my vibe for the summer, so I'm not trying to cut it, and I think it looks super cute. I love the black. Growing up, I used to always dye my hair jet black. Like when I was natural and had my afros and stuff, I did colors, but then I really got hooked to jet black. I feel like it really complements my skin and it makes it pop. And I have a perm, I have a relaxer in my hair, so well, now I do. I didn't always have a relaxer, but I have a relaxer in my hair now. So I tried to do like really, really platinum blonde and things like that. And I'm not trying to fry dye and lay my hair to the side too much, not too much. So I just went back to black because I couldn't get it red. I couldn't get it the like shade of blonde that I wanted it. So I was like, you know what? Like instead of like being a little washed out with that reddish brownish color, I just went it black and I'm rocking with it. I feel like it looks super cute and it looks really healthy. So I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling it. It's like my first day really wearing it like out and kind of styled. So yeah, we're getting ready to go to a little happy hour. So we're here. I'm recording my podcast. I'm getting this content done for you all. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it cute. It's Friday, 4:26, happy hour prime time. I was like, I gotta record my podcast for my girls and my guys out here listening before we hit these streets this weekend. But also, sidebar, I told you all last episode that I was going to be doing some really fun content because I'm doing like this spring things to do in spring and summer in Philly. So if you have not checked out that video, I went to this sushi spot called Mari Mari. Definitely check that out. I have the reel for it already up on my Instagram and already up on my TikTok. So I would love you all support. Comment different places that you all want me to, you know, check out in Philly and things like that. If you're in New York or Jersey or anywhere in this little tri-state area, comment other places. I'm down to travel. But yeah, definitely support your girl in that aspect as well. And tomorrow I do my second one. We're going to this place called Otherworld, so I'm super excited about that. So definitely just support your girl. We're out here, we're trying to build our network in this new city. We're getting fresh and fun for the summer and the spring, so definitely support your girl with that content series that I'm working on. Cool. So now that we got those announcements, those little things out the way, let's hop in this episode. Like I said, it should not take me that long to get to this message. It's very cute, very straight to the point. So let me tell you something. I'd rather sit and be patient than to work for less than I'm worth. when I was writing this episode, and like I kind of do a lot of these episodes at this point, it's kind of like, okay, what direction do I want to take this? How do I want to approach this topic? How do I want to go about talking about this topic? And I think the thing is, when I want to talk about this topic, as far as just like knowing your worth when it comes to working and everything like that, is being in your 20s and you know, getting into early adulthood and just becoming an adult, is realizing that you have more responsibilities. You know, for myself, you know, your first bill might be, maybe you want to take on your own car, you know, your own phone bill, or maybe it's your Spotify, or it's anything, like any sort of bill. So as you get older, maybe you're a teenager, you accumulate maybe like a little bill, like getting your nails done is a bill at this point, or, you know, getting your makeup and things like that. Those are bills. So as you get older, you know, you accumulate more bills, you get more responsibilities, you have more goals, and you want to do more with your life as you grow. And everybody's experience is different. You know, I know some people who are 22 living at home. I know some people who are 22 living and owning houses. You know, everybody's experience is different. All I could do is speak for myself. But personally, I have big dreams and goals that I want to accomplish in my life. And I want to kind of have my wants taken care of as well as my needs. So, you know, I want the new purse. I want the shiny car. I want to be able to travel. And I want to be able to have my own place and furnish it. And, you know, it's not always just about materialistic things, but yeah, I want to be able to, you know, go to the grocery store and take care of myself and just live, you know, a really good, comfortable lifestyle. And with wanting to live this kind of lifestyle, and with getting older, and with having new goals, and with having all these responsibilities, you have to have some sort of money coming in. You know, they be like, money make the world go around, money could make the world go around. Money doesn't make the world go around in a sense of like, that's all I care about. You know, God, faith, love, family, like we're good without the money. But that don't mean we don't want it. That don't mean we don't want it. That don't mean we don't need it. And like I said, this is just my opinion, my podcast. Who am I? I made a video the other day. I'm like, who am I? What do I know? What do I know? I made a video on my TikTok. I was like, you know, talking about last episode as far as you needing to travel and get out your hometown and X, Y, and Z. I was like, but who am I? What do I know? And this is no shade to anyone, but when we're talking about post-grad diaries, post-grad as in post-college, and you know, to tie, you know, back to the topic of the episode, is when I was pre-college, like back in high school or middle school or whatever, mostly high school, because I started working when I was 14. I was very humble with my jobs pre-college. You know, my first job, I was 14. I was a shampoo girl at a Dominican hair salon, Hermania's Hair Salon. It's not there no more, but it was Hermania's Hair Salon off of Silver Hill Road. If you're from the DMV, it's a Wells Fargo in a shopping center, a beauty supply store across the street from the, I think it's a Shoppers and a CVS, but it's right on Silver Hill Road. It was a Hermania's Hair Salon in the same little strip where the gas station and stuff is. I was a shampoo girl there when I was 14. And then the salon shut down. I was so devastated. That's another story for another day. But the salon shut down. I started working at Six Flags. That was like my junior year in high school. Worked there, and then I worked there, you know, pretty much until like senior year-ish. And then I started working at a barbecue shop called Urban Barbecue right across the street from Forestville Mall. If you know, you know. I don't think that's there anymore either, but it was right like on that same strip of like the Burlington, and the Dollar Tree was on that strip. Like, I think it was next to I don't know if it was a Foot Locker. It doesn't matter. It's about a honey baked ham. It ain't there no more. But I worked there, and then I worked at Target, the one connected to Forestville Mall. So yeah, pre-college, I was very humble when it came to my jobs. I was very humble when it came to like, you know, I'm down to do the work. I'm a hustler. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But now when we talk about post-grad, you know, Post-grad definitely humbled me, you know, a bit. It definitely humbled me. You know, you go into college, you know, they tell you get your degree, you're going to get a big girl job, you're going to be doing your thing, X, Y, and Z. And I had to learn to be really patient with it. When it was getting time for me to graduate, I did not 100% know what I wanted to do career-wise. When I went into college, you know, I had this mindset of like, I'm going in as a psychology major and I'm going to go get my PhD X, Y, and Z. And after I graduated, I kind of was like burnt out a little bit. I was like, I don't know about this whole grad school thing. It was kind of far-fetched for me. Only thing I had in my head was that I want to move out and I want to move to a new city and I want a job. Like, I want a job. So I didn't really know, you know, what I wanted to do right after I graduated. I just knew that I wanted to work and I wanted to move. And, you know, I kind of put the, you know, grad school thing to the side. And I was like, okay, like, what can I do for work? I can go into social work. I can go into social media type of stuff. I had a lot of success when it came into social media when I was in school. And, you know, I wasn't sure what I was going to do career-wise. And I don't think that, you know, some people are prepared as far as like when they're in school, taking the steps to start to a lot of different things. But that was not my case. That just wasn't me. That's not my story. I had too much going on to think about anything other than just, I need to just finish school and I'll worry about the rest when it comes. And that's fine. That's completely fine. But content creation full time is not easy. It's not easy to be disciplined enough to do it. And I recently just did an interview with a magazine that's going to be coming out really soon. So make sure you're following me for that kind of update to see when that's coming out and who it's with and everything. But it talked about, you know, in the interview, the article or whatever, is going to be talking about just balancing working and doing content creation. And when the article comes out, you know, I just talk about how the truth is I love content. I, you know, was at a point one time when I was in college where I was doing it full time and I didn't have to work, you know, another kind of job, was kind of able to pay all my bills and stuff. But at the same time, my responsibilities when I was in college were completely different than what they are now. So, you know, that just looks different. You know, college student's lifestyle versus just a regular adult's lifestyle is just completely different. So, you know, I love doing content. It's something that, of course, I would want to do full time again, but I'm never going to stop doing it. I'm not going to stop doing my podcast. I'm not going to stop doing my TikToks. I'm not going to stop doing and being a creative. That's just who I am. I don't look at it like it's work. And I want to be able to have the freedom to not have to always look at it like it's work. I feel like, you know, you hear a lot of like creatives as far as like, I just watched an interview with Cardi B and she was just saying like doing music used to be fun until it got serious, like this is my job. And I don't want this to feel like a job. I want it to be something that I do. And of course, I'll take a little coin for it. Of course, I'll do that. But I don't want it to become that, because then it won't be fun. Then it will be work. And I do, you know, want to enjoy doing this. Now, granted, you have to be disciplined when it comes to content and being consistent. Like, I want to be consistent with this podcast and getting my episodes out on Mondays and X, Y, and Z. So yes, that is work, but it's not, I gotta show up here. Like, I have the flexibility of doing it on a Friday before I go out, you know, and things like that. So anywho, I just didn't want to make sacrifices with my day-to-day. I needed a job to handle my life, and then this is like my little play money. But anywho, after experiencing the success that I had in college with, you know, doing content, with having pretty successful campaigns, you know, I was able to work with brands such as Samsung, where I was a campus ambassador. I was able to work with brands such as Home Goods, and I was able to work, you know, with bigger name brands like Target and Dove and Shea Moisture and things like that. So I experienced a lot of success with it and experienced a lot of money that I never had in that type of space. So of course, you know, after you graduate, and you've experienced that kind of success, you don't necessarily want to backtrack. And I had an opportunity after I graduated to work with a big name brand that just was not willing to offer me what I knew I was worth. And I could have taken the money at the time. I, really probably could have used it. But I told myself, I'd rather sit and be patient for God to bless me with something that I know that I want to do than to limit and diminish my worth just to satisfy this brand and this company. And like I said, I could have used, the money at the time. I had a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things that were due. And it was more of just letting myself know that, like, you're worth what you're asking for. You're worth what you're, giving. I had an opportunity, to work with a client. I did work with a client when I started, or when I graduated or whatever. But they just also didn't have the money to pay me what I was worth, and I wasn't willing to take a step back. I'm a firm believer in, you got to do what you got to do as far as like the bills is due now and just taking care of what you need to take care of. But in the same breath, I'm also a firm believer in, once I make, let's just say $1 an hour, I'm not going to make $50.50 an hour. I'm not working backwards. I don't need to take a giant leap, but you got to meet me here or be above at this point. Like, I'm not trying to move backwards. And like I said, you do what you got to do. You don't think you're too good to things, but things weren't, my back wasn't put up against the wall at that point to that severity that I needed to diminish my worth. And for anyone out there who, is experiencing life post-grad, looking for that job, or, maybe you graduated, you have to go back and doing your part-time job that you were doing when you were in school or whatever, it can kind of alter your confidence in a way. You start to ask yourself, like, am I really good at this? Am I really good at this content stuff? Am I worth, what I'm asking for? Should I settle? And these are some key points that I want you to think about while you're on your journey. Who determines your worth? Is it you? Is it society? Is it your school? Is it your peers? Is it your family? Like, who determines your worth? And that's a question that you have to ask yourself. For me, I determined my worth. My bills determined my worth. You can't tell me that, I'm not worth paying this, rate or whatever, because if I feel like this is the quality or whatever that I'm offering, you could take feedback, you can be willing to learn. And of course, if you're dealing with other people and you're providing a service, you got to kind of cater it to them. But at the end of the day, I determine my worth, and my lifestyle determines my worth. Where I live determines my worth. If my rent or my car note or any type of bill like that is this amount of money, I need to be making this amount of money. So that's what determines my worth, the economy, and me, not you and your pockets and your wallet. If you can't afford me, then you're not worth, working with me. But that's just kind of, a question you need to ask yourself. Okay. The next thing is, relationships do not pay the bills. Okay. Friend discounts, family discounts do not pay your car note, do not pay your rent, do not pay your mortgage. All right. It's cool to do favors for people, but if you're in an entrepreneurial headspace, if you're in any type of business, relationships do not pay the bills. Okay. And lastly, if you spend too much time focusing on what is not meant for you, you will miss what is meant for you. Have faith, stay patient, and move when the time is right. Do not be greedy. And I have a little story for you all with my own personal experience with that. I told you all in a previous episode of this season, I don't remember what episode it was, but it was a previous episode of this season where I told you all that I was working as a host at a comedy club. Post-grad was truly humbling for me. I said that earlier in this, season. And yeah, so I was working at a comedy club when I first moved here to Philly. I prayed, I was patient. I was hustling. I had a lot of meetings with a lot of different people as far as really trying to get my social media management out there, trying to get clients. Like I said, I had a client, didn't really work through. I didn't have much success for it while I was still in Virginia. I was even trying to reach out to people in the DMV because I was like, I'll travel for it. And I had a lot of interviews with a lot of people. I did a lot of presentations, and that's just what comes with doing, you know, that type of work in that type of field. You know, you have some success and you don't have some success. And with that being patient season, I just was like, you know, when I get to this new state or this new city and, you know, period, I'm really in the need of just a job. So I prayed for, you know, a job, and I got the opportunity to work at a comedy club out here in Philly as a host. And, you know, it definitely got me through. It definitely helped, you know, pick me up off my feet a little bit, because I was starting to go a little downhill, not gonna lie. And I just had responsibilities. I had things that was like I needed to take care of, and I was thankful for it. But I knew that that was not going to be my end all be all. So I continued to apply for different jobs, and, you know, I did have a degree, and I'm just sitting here like, you know, I have this degree. Why isn't things working for me? And I would sit and I would talk to my coworkers at the time, you know, people that was working at the comedy club with me, and they were, you know, older than me, and some of them had degrees, some of them didn't. And they would just tell me like, I'm always here, so I never have the time to even apply for another job. Or when am I going to have the time to interview for another job if I'm always at work here? Or I can't even find another job because I'm always here. And, you know, I eventually got my big girl job. I didn't start it until January this year. So I was working at the comedy club from October all the way till January. And I told myself, you know, I was scared to let go of my job at the comedy club because it's like, you know, I'm scared. I don't know. Like, I'm so in the hole with things that, like, am I going to be able to, like, balance it all? And, you know, you get your first big girl job, but y'all, you ain't making no 6 figures or nothing like that. Or I ain't making no 6 figures or nothing like that. I'm making good money for me, but that's all I'm gonna say. But I had to bet on myself, and I just realistically could not balance going to work from, you know, working a full-time 9 to 5, whatever you want to call it, a full-time job from Monday to Friday, then hitting the club up on the weekend, hosting people. Like, my temper, my time, I needed time for me. I needed time for this. I needed time to bet on myself, and just my personal life. So, you know, once it got too much, I had faith that God was going to take me. He wouldn't bring me nowhere just to drop me off. And I stopped working at the comedy club. I quit. And I bet on myself, and I just was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to be fine. You know, it's 2024. I'm not trying to bring that energy of that comedy club into 2024, child. I liked working there. I was thankful for the opportunity. I learned a lot, met a lot, experienced a lot. I'm good. I'm good. I got my big girl job, and I got the opportunity to work with a cosmetic brand as their social media manager. So I do both now. I work my full-time job, and I work as a social media manager for the cosmetic brand. So I'm super excited about that. And that just goes back to that last point. Like I said, you know, if you spend so much time focusing on, you know, I hate the fact that I'm at this part-time job, I hate this job, or this is not what I want to be doing, X, Y, and Z, you'll miss what's meant for you. I was not going to be focused on, you know, so focused on my bills is due, I'm scared. I had to release a little bit, like, you know what, God gave me this job. I cannot spend my time burning myself out trying to work this comedy club and doing this at the same time, because I'm going to miss the opportunity to become a social media manager, making way more money than I would have made at the comedy club. So yeah, let me tell you something. Be patient. I'd rather sit and be patient than to work for less than I'm worth. You already are going to be working and feeling like you're not getting paid enough. So don't, you know, go backwards. Once you start making that $1 an hour, don't go back to 50 cents. Don't let homeboy or homegirl over there flexing their parents' money make you feel bad about where you are in life, you know. And also just be grateful for where you are in life. You know, I'm 22. I have a lot more life to live. I have a lot more skills to learn. I have a lot more things to do. I wake up, you know, and every day in my prayers, I say, you know, thank you, God, for the roof over my head and the food on my table. You know, I am grateful to be where I'm at in life because it could be a lot worse. You know, I drive my nice Toyota Camry with my sunroof, and my Bluetooth speakers and my little key that click. Child, it's a blessing to have a key that just unlock your door automatically like that. So I'm thankful for her. She's getting a car wash next week. I paid my car note and my new Philly car insurance today, child. Philly car insurance is way more expensive than the DMV car insurance, but I am blessed and thankful for my big girl job to help me pay for my car insurance and my car. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. I'm thankful for it. Stella is getting her a nice car wash next week. And I got this like little thing from Walmart. I got a new steering wheel cover, a new thing to hold my phone. My thing to hold my phone, it broke. So I got a new one with a new steering wheel cover and some seat covers that are like got a lot of red in it. So Stella's gonna be looking like a real sports car this spring. She has not got a car wash in like over a year, so she looks ridiculous. I have a little vacuum, so she looks good in the inside, but the outside looks ridiculous. And also, sidebar, my boo helped me take my little Hampton decals, parking decals off. Child, if you went to Hampton and you had a car and you had to put one of them little stickers on it, you already know the struggle to get it off. We was with the glue gun and she was scraping it off the car, but it looks good. It looks good. It's off. I'm released from the shackles of the Hampton decal parking sticker. But anywho, Stella's getting her little makeover next week. She's gonna look great and amazing. But I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful to be where I'm at. I'm thankful for, you know, the place that I live in. You know, we got an upstairs, downstairs. I got a room that I could create content in. Nice kitchen, windows, my plants. I'm thankful for it. You know, with my partner, I'm thankful for all of that. I'm thankful to get my pedicures every month. You know, these are with the hot stones and the little massage, little leg massage and stuff. I'm thankful for that. I'm blessed for that. I'm just thankful for it all. And, you know, as we get older and we're going through, you know, life and everything like that, make sure you're being thankful for, you know, where you are, where you came from. Things are always going to be up and down. You do not need to be where you want to be in your career and your finances in your early 20s, in your mid 20s, or in your 20s at all. We see people all the time like Issa Rae, who got her big break when she was in her 30s. We see people like Tabitha Brown. She's in her 30s or her 40s or whatever. Do not compare yourself to anyone. I love you all. Comment some things you're thankful for below. Let's be really grateful. Let's show gratitude in March, Money Making March. Let us know what your experience is looking for a job post-grad in your early 20s, navigating real life and bills, but also remembering not to lower your worth. You know, we got to do what we got to do. If you got to pick up that part-time job, if you got to go work as a host at a comedy club to get to, you know, make ends meet, get your groceries and everything like that, you're not lowering your worth. Be patient. Pick and choose your battles. Thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode. Next week's episode is called Drew Barrymore. Definitely make sure you're tuned in for that. Y'all know Sis is a highly influential person to this podcast. So go listen to Drew Barrymore and then start plotting and thinking about what this episode is going to be about. But make sure you're tuned in. I'm your host, Deja D. Make sure you're following me at DEJ7AsND on TikTok and Instagram. If you want to follow my Twitter, go on ahead. I don't post nothing over there. I just be retweeting funny stuff. But make sure you're following my TikTok and my Instagram. Make sure you're subscribed if you're listening to us on YouTube. Make sure you're following us if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. Shout out to you all for listening to us, period. And I will see you all next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you're following Deja's Daily Dose.